Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jayla. If you're watching this video, I'm so glad that you're here. Today is not going to be a new episode of Date Your Desires. I'm actually going to be sharing a personal story, how I got into cycle syncing and how I ended up becoming a cycle syncing coach. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to go back all the way to May of 2023 when I graduated from university. So I went to Northern Arizona University with a degree in exercise physiology. I originally wanted to become a physical therapist. That was kind of the career that I decided on when I was like 13 and my parents were like, you need to figure out what you want to do. Originally, I had proposed to them that I wanted to be a cosmetologist, but they said no. So I decided that, maybe physical therapy would be better. Fast forward to when I was graduating, I had decided that that was no longer what I wanted to do. And I knew that I didn't want to try to apply to PT schools, get into one, end up in the middle of the doctorate program and be like, yeah, I really don't want to do this. So yeah. Also, about 2 months before I graduated college, I took my dog to the vet and found out that she had cancer. So that was really a struggle that I was dealing with. And unfortunately, the day before I walked to the stage at graduation, I had to say goodbye to her and put her down. So let's just say that summer of 2023 was pretty rough. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I was grieving the loss of my dog, and I ended up having two really bad trips to the ER. One of them was from alcohol overconsumption, because alcohol is just the best way to deal with your grief, right? And when I drink too much, my stomach really doesn't like me, and I'm not able to keep anything down. So that's how I ended up in the ER the first time. And then a week later, the second time, I was finishing up a hairstyle and I ended up getting nail glue in my eye. So I couldn't see and it felt like there was sandpaper in my eye, and it just really was not cool. Was not fun. So yeah, summer in 2023, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was really sad. And I just remember like being on YouTube because I think I had gotten my period and I was like, the cramps are so bad. Like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to survive this every month. Just really down in the dumps. Just really down bad. And I remember being on YouTube in my bed, heat pad on, cramps tearing up my back and my stomach. And I think I can't even remember what I searched. I just remember somehow stumbling across a cycle syncing video and being like, what's this? And so I ended up watching it, and that was really when I was like, wow, this is really interesting. Like, I didn't know that this was even a thing. Like, I didn't know that you could cycle sync. And I think I had just like kind of forgotten about it because I had way more things to be worrying about. And I just remember getting through my period that week and being like, I need to get my life together, because I graduated in May and my lease in my apartment was ending in July. And Flagstaff, where I went to college, it was way too expensive and I could not afford to live there. Looking back on it, that was just scarcity mindset, and I'm sure that I could have figured it out. But at the time, I just thought that moving to Phoenix, which was 2 hours south, and like where I originally was from, like where I originally moved to when I moved to Arizona, I just figured that would be better and there would be more job opportunity there. So I ended up asking a friend if she wanted to move down to Phoenix with me, and she said yes. And so we looked for an apartment, and we kind of just chose the best one at the time. Another scarcity mindset decision that ended up like just being really an experience. That's all I'm gonna say. There were so many things wrong with that apartment, but it's okay. I was grateful to have a roof over my head and groceries in my fridge. So yeah. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. Like I said, I didn't want to be a physical therapist anymore. So I was like, dang, I don't know how I'm going to work, but I know that bills are due. So I ended up taking a job at a credit union. And it ended up being in the call center, which I wasn't sure of at the time. And I'm laughing because I got asked a question during the interview, and I just remember like bawling my eyes out because the question was, what's your greatest achievement? And at the time, like, I had just graduated college. And so I told them, like, right now, my greatest achievement is graduating university and, having to deal with the loss of my pet, literally a day before I graduated. And I was still so sad because my dog, that was my first major loss that I had experienced, and it just really like ripped me to shreds, and I was having low-key an existential crisis. So I ended up crying in the job interview. But it's okay because I ended up getting the job and I was very grateful. I ended up getting an apartment. Granted, I had to have my mom kind of co-sign because I had no income, and I don't know why you have to be making 3 times your income for a raggedy apartment, but those were just the rules at the time. So I moved down to Phoenix with my friend. I worked at the call center, knew right off the bat, this is not it. It's not working. I remember I started in August, and in September I had a wedding to go to here in Washington where I live now. And I just remember thinking on that trip, when I go back, we are getting up out of here. And so that's what I did. I got back, and luckily where my friend was working, a position had opened up, and I applied there, got the job. So now I work with my bestie, who is also my roommate. We carpooled. It was great. And going back to cycle syncing, I think, when did I really start getting into it? Because that's what the point of this video is. I think it was when I started at the beverage distribution center, which is where my friend worked. It was more stable income, and granted, I didn't love the job, but I liked it more than working at a call center. So I started cycle syncing in October of 2023 after discovering it over the summer. And I started with just trying to like track my, I don't want to say symptoms, but like track my mood when I was PMSing, track my symptoms. And then I started researching more about like how to eat during your cycle. And I was already like cooking meals at home, and I was already eating relatively healthy. But I really started implementing like the basics of cycle syncing in October of 2023. And so from like October to going into the holiday season, going into 2024, and the beginning of 2024 is when I really was like, okay, I've been working at this beverage distribution center. I know that I don't want to be here forever. What can I like do? And I knew that I still wanted to use my exercise physiology degree. And I was like, I've been doing cycle syncing for a minute. I wonder if I could like maybe in the future like coach women on this, because this is such an insane concept to me that clearly isn't widely known, because I was 21 when I discovered cycle syncing, and at that point I had been having periods for like pretty much almost a decade. And so I was like, I wonder if I could like become a health coach and like teach women about this. And so it was at the beginning of 2024 that I started researching like health coaching programs, and I very quickly realized that I could not afford to like purchase a health coaching program. Like, I was making better money at the beverage distribution center than at the call center, but still, rent is due, and that was a big chunk of where my income was going at the time. And so I was getting a little discouraged, but I started looking at scholarships. I remember I had researched ASU, which is Arizona State University. They had a health coaching program, and I was looking at financial aid, but I wasn't eligible. And so I was just like discouraged, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. But I think it was a couple months later in the spring of 2024, I found the Institute of Transformational Nutrition, and they had a scholarship, which really was like, oh my gosh, this is a possibility now. But it wasn't until summer of 2024 that I finally like applied for the scholarship. I had been going back and forth And honestly, like when you're considering a new career path, it's kind of scary. And truthfully, because I'm going to be real with you guys, I had to do an essay and like film a video submission, and that to me was just so intimidating, and I was so scared of the prospect of like getting denied and like having to go back to square one. But fast forward to July of 2024, I sat down and I was like, I'm gonna apply for this scholarship, because the worst thing that'll happen is that they say no and I figure it out and I keep working at where I'm working right now for a little bit longer. So I applied in July of 2024, did the essay, submitted the video, and I said, like, I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. If it's meant for me, it'll be meant for me. And, I'm filming this YouTube video right now, so let me just let you know that I think a couple weeks later, maybe like a month later, I don't even think it was even a month, I was at work. And I remember it was August 2nd of 2024. I was at work, and I opened up my email, and it was like, I think it was like, congratulations. And I was like, ooh, is this it? Like, is this it? I clicked the email and it was like, congratulations. I'll insert the screenshot that I took of the email here. I got the scholarship that I'd applied for. And so that granted me access to the transformational nutrition coaching course that I took. And I'm now a certified coach. I had already been job searching before I knew that I got the scholarship. And I had said, like, if I get this scholarship, I'm literally leaving this job. They had cut our pay. So we were salary, and then we went down to hourly. And I was like, yeah, they try to propose it like, oh, this will be better for you, so you get better paid for your time. No, that was not it. That was not it at all. And a bunch of people had gotten fired. I think we had just acquired a different company, and me and my roommate knew very quickly we need to get up out of here. So yeah, that's what ended up happening. Once I got the scholarship, I was like, okay, boom, got the scholarship. I'm putting in my 2 weeks. I'm letting them know that I'm going back to school. And that's what I did. It wasn't until, actually, I had some scheduled time off that I knew I wanted to take before I quit. So I took a trip, me and my roommate, we took a trip to California, to San Diego, one of my favorite places ever. And it's only a 5-hour drive from Phoenix. So it was like a cute little 4-day girls trip at the beach. And anybody who knows me knows I love the beach, but we're getting sidetracked. So I had a time off in August, and then I had taken time off for my birthday. And it was actually, so I'd taken the Friday before my birthday off and the Monday, my actual birthday. And I had applied to a restaurant that was opening in Phoenix. And I got a call the Friday that I had taken off. And they were like, can you come in for an interview? And I was like, oh, yeah. Let me go ahead and get myself together. And I'll insert the picture of the little mirror selfie I took before I went into the interview. So I went in for the interview, got the job. I was like, yes, things are working out. Got the scholarship, got a new job. Like, things are only going up from here. And so what else happened? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, so I got the interview and the job on Friday. I had Monday off. The next Tuesday, I gave my 2-week notice. I said, I'm going back to school. I'm going to start working part-time so I can have more commitment to, the schooling that I'm pursuing. And so September of 2024 was my last day at the beverage distribution company. Mind you, I had started in October of 2023, so literally almost a year of working there. And I had known that I'd wanted to become a health coach since like the beginning of 2024, but I was stalling because the human mind, which I learned in my health coaching program, really likes to be comfortable and really doesn't like change that much. But even when the change is for the better, you have to like program your mind to be receptive to change. But anyway, so I started the new job. I started training for the new job like literally the next week after I left my other job. So things were just going so swell. And it was a restaurant opening. So I had like 2 weeks of paid training and then a couple of days off. And then it was like opening restaurant day. And I Oh, actually, let me say this. Over the summer, a little bit before I had applied to Institute of National, oh my God, the Institute of Transformational Nutrition, my boyfriend at the time had proposed that we move to Washington. And I wasn't sure how that was going to work. I didn't know how it was going to work out. So we had been thinking about moving to Washington. And by the time I got the new job working part-time at the restaurant, we had decided that we were moving. And so I knew I wasn't going to be at the restaurant for long, which was perfect. I made good money because, you know, as a server, you make your tips. It was enough for me to cover my bills. Granted, I didn't have very much left over. I was just thankful to be working part-time again. And that freedom gave me more time to, one, do my coaching course, and two, like get deeper into cycle syncing, really start tailoring my meals, and getting more into like the spiritual and emotional side of it. So that was like fall of 2024 going into winter of 2024. And then fast forward to the beginning of 2025, January, which we're coming up on literally almost a year of me being in Washington State. January of 2025 was when my boyfriend and I moved to Washington. And if you go back on my channel, I posted on 1/11 of 2025, and it was my last day working at the restaurant. And I was like, I don't want to work another job. Like, I just want to, it was literally me like closing chapters and like basically stating my intentions for the year. So January of 2025 was when we moved to Washington. I ended up getting another job here because I hadn't finished my coaching program yet, even though they had said multiple times that you don't have to be certified to start coaching. I still had some limiting beliefs that I needed to get through. So I ended up working part-time and, you know, getting deeper into my coaching. I started doing like practice sessions to prepare for the like assessment that was coming up. And when I started the program, I only had like 1 year to complete everything. So I knew August of 2025 was when I was going to be like, I had to be finished and certified. So yeah, from spring basically of 2025 all the way through summer of 2025 was when I really got deeper into my program. Started doing some practice coaching sessions to prepare for the exam, working part-time. I started Jayla Rejuvenates, my Instagram. Granted, I wasn't posting consistently because, oh my gosh, having to start a business, like starting a brand, there is so much work that goes into that. It's actually insane. Also, I'm 20 minutes into the video, so if you're this far, thanks for watching, girl, or guy, or they, whoever. Yeah, it was a lot of work to like try to figure out what my message was, like my mission, all that stuff. And so it's still been a whirlwind. Also, posting on Instagram is like submitting an essay. I'm just going to say it. That's why I pivoted to YouTube, because it feels way easier for me to get on here and talk to a camera than to try to like put together a carousel, fight for attention. And I think I mentioned that in my last video too. So I post on Instagram still because like I want to grow the platform and I would love to like grow a community on there. Originally, and like still recently, I'm still working on not chasing virality and just letting my post be posted, and whoever like comments or engages with the post, that's what I'm grateful for. But anyway, fast forward to July of 2025. That was when I received my certification. Yay! Yay! And with my certification, I got a specialist course. So the bundle that I got a specialist course in addition to my certification. So I chose the holistic health specialist. So that's why I say I'm a holistic nutrition coach that specializes in cycle syncing, because that's what I originally wanted to do. But anyway, so after I got my certification, I started on my holistic health specialist course, which I loved. I love it, love it, love it, love it. To this day, I'm still so grateful for that scholarship, because I don't know how I would have been able to get to where I'm at now without it. So miracles do happen, and that's literally kind of the point of this video. And I posted a YouTube video about that too, about living like you believe in miracles. But anyway, I'm gonna try to wrap this up. So, 2023, 2024, we're now in 2025. So after I got my certification, I started, getting my website up, getting my offer together, and I started with only a 3-month offer because that I came out of the program like with a workbook to go with a 3-month offer. But now I'm kind of pivoting to doing smaller offers, and that's kind of what I wanted to announce in this video. With me going on 3 years of cycle syncing and kind of sharing my journey, I will be starting a 4-week program to anyone who wants to learn more about cycle syncing. It'll be covering the 4 phases of the menstrual cycle and how to nourish yourself spiritually, physically, and emotionally or mentally, because that's kind of the framework of the Institute of Transformational Nutrition. And as a transformational nutrition coach, I kind of come at it from all 3 angles. My analogy that I like to use is that, it's an easel with 3 legs: spiritual nutrition, mental nutrition, and physical nutrition. And the easel holds up the canvas. The canvas is your life, and you, the person, are the creator of your art, which is your life. So that's a quick little tidbit about my certification and like my framework and outlook. So I'll be announcing more about the cycle syncing 4-week program called Find Your Flow. Isn't that so cute and fun? I'll be posting more about that soon, in addition to getting back to the episodes of Date Your Desires, which also kind of ties into your productivity and energy levels when you're cycle syncing, but that's neither here nor there. This video has been like one take, so I'm kind of all over the place and I'm trying to wrap it up. But anyway, so fast forward to fall/winter of 2025 after I got my certification. I'm still new to my business, posting regularly, getting clients, and launching my first digital product, which I did in December of last year, which was the Desire Dating Roster, which I'm super excited about. And that was really so fun to put that together. And I'm still putting together the Date Your Desires directory. But I took a vacation in December of last year to Hawaii. It was beautiful. I'm so grateful. Like I said earlier in this video, I love the beach. So just being in warm weather, on island time, experiencing Hawaii's beauty, the land, it was everything. And little did I know, I was getting proposed to. So now I'm engaged. Yay! And like, I'm just feeling so grateful for like my journey, everything that I've been through. And yeah, that's kind of the point of this video. I just wanted to get on here and kind of share like my journey, my experience now that I'm coming up on 3 years of graduating college and 3 years of cycle syncing. I have a cycle syncing video on my channel that goes like way in depth, which will kind of be similar to the program that I'm putting together. So if you're interested in learning more about cycle syncing, please let me know down below. Like I said, it's going to be a 4-week program, 4 one-on-one sessions with me. The first one is going to be 90 minutes. The following ones are going to be 60 minutes. And basically, it's going to kind of just jumpstart you on your cycle syncing journey. And, it'll encompass like all the knowledge that I've gained in the past 3 years and more the knowledge that I'm gaining as I continue every single month, doing something different. Most recently, I started implementing seed cycling, and that has made like the biggest difference. Almost all of my PMS symptoms have been eliminated with seed cycling. So yeah, there's always more to learn, and I'm excited to dive deeper and really grow my business, Jayla Rejuvenates, and really just fulfill my purpose of, educating women on how they can nourish their bodies in ways that honor their natural cycles and really tailor their lives around their menstrual cycles, because that's what I'm doing, and it has made such a significant difference in my life. And I just remember 3 years ago, that summer, when I was grieving and just discovering this new like way of life, this new lifestyle, really, and that propelled me into this new career when I was lost and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my little tidbit. This was oversharing hour, but I'm really glad that I'm doing this, and I'm trying to get better about like sharing and being vulnerable on the internet. But yeah, like I said, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.